If you've been watching my channel over the past few weeks, you'll have noticed that I've been posting a lot more content around how to improve your stream and improve your own self as a result of improving your stream, and really tackling that balance of how do you make sure you continue growing your stream while growing other areas of your life at the same time and getting optimum growth across all areas of your life. And that culminated in a series of videos and streams around this concept of the wheel of life, where you could look at, in this example, 8 areas of your life to improve them all one by 1 or 2 notches over the course of a year. And off the back of my last stream with that video, I realized you could do the exact same thing with streaming. And so I titled it a wheel of streaming, and we covered areas such as aesthetics and branding and community and relationships with other streamers. And it felt like everything was set up so that on the Saturday just gone, I could run my stream and do this workshop with a bunch of other viewers, and we could all share ideas on how we can improve our streams long term over the course of a year, by taking all these little segments and improving them bit by bit, really taking a progressive approach to it. But the issue I encountered is that when it came down to it, when I started my stream, for about an hour, I was doing general conversation with my viewers. And as I opened up the document with the wheel and started explaining through, I ended up going down a completely different direction with the stream. And instead of going through all the different segments and how you can apply them and match them to what we had done before with the Wheel of Life, instead I streamed marbles for 3 hours. And there were 2 reasons for that. The first one was that by the point that we'd started getting into the weeds, you could say, of the Wheel of Streaming, there were a couple of active chatters in the stream, and they're great people. One of them doesn't really stream, the other streams, but she wasn't staying for very long, and it felt like this kind of content was better suited if there was a larger audience for it. So one of the reasons I decided to move on to something else was because of the audience reach that I had on the day. And then the second one was probably the more concerning one for me, and that is that when it came down to it, I just couldn't be bothered. I couldn't find the motivation to actually sit there and do the hard work and think for myself, how am I going to improve my stream in all of these areas? And in the end, I just avoided the task altogether. And in avoiding that task, I realized that I just didn't have the motivation for it and wanted to do something fun instead. And I'm sure this is something that everyone encounters. Like, a lot of the time we don't want to do hard work, we would rather just have fun. But I wanted to create this video today to just, I guess, put some feelers out there and see how other people felt about managing their stream growth and balancing that with genuinely just having fun with their streaming as well. And it was that specifically that got me thinking, how much do I really want to grow and improve my stream? Hi, I'm Tom, also known as Brick Guy, and I'm here to help you build your ultimate stream life balance, tackling what it means to grow and improve your stream alongside the day-to-day realities of managing everyday life at home, work, and with friends and family. You can find me here on YouTube every Friday, and I stream on Twitch every Wednesday and Saturday. Links to everything will be in the description down below. And today, I really want to explore motivation and how much we really want to grow and improve our streams. It's so easy for us to choose the path of least resistance, and in fact, as humans, we're biologically programmed to think that way and to take the easiest route to wherever it is we need to get to. And for me, choosing to have fun rather than focusing on improvement or on my own personal growth has been a common trend that I've seen in myself over the past year or so. Whether it's, especially in today's times with the coronavirus and working from home, I'm finding myself doing a lot less productive work and instead choosing to watch a lot more YouTube videos and Twitch streams than is probably a reasonable amount. Like I feel like I could watch some, maybe for a couple of hours a day, but at the moment I'm finding myself spending the majority of my time watching videos and just doing a bit of work on the side. And that's something that's really, I guess, started to hit a peak over the past month or so. And when I look back, I realized that in the past 2 years where I've stopped focusing on my own personal growth and development, it's led to a lot more fun in my life, so to speak. I'm playing a lot more games and doing a lot more things that I enjoy, but I haven't been growing at the same rate that I did a few years ago. And if you remember back to my video about the Wheel of Life, you would have seen me really, not boastful, but really proud of, at least I hope it didn't come across as boastful, but really proud of the results I'd achieved over the past year in 2018 and how I was able to do so well out of that year thanks to the Wheel of Life, and how I haven't been able to replicate those results since. And that's partly because I've put a lot more focus on fun rather than personal development. And I think for me that's almost led to a bit of a softening in my mindset and my determination, where the moment I do want to get on and try and progress in something, I haven't been as willing to do it. And that's partly why I started this theme of content on YouTube. It's not just to help others like you watching this video now, but it's also to keep myself accountable to this community that we have. I often find that the best way I can motivate myself is to tell people what my goals are and what I want to achieve, and then they can hold me accountable. I'm finding that increasingly more so, especially over time, that if I only hold myself accountable and I don't have others keep me accountable, then I'm far less motivated and far less inclined to get the productive work done that I actually need to do to grow and improve. So this got me thinking of other ways that people are motivated. So there's the concept of accountability. Are you accountable to yourself? Are you accountable to friends? Are you accountable to family? Are you accountable to specific goals that you have? How do you keep yourself accountable? But then there's other ways that I see people are motivated. There are some people I see where they're literally feast or famine workers. They can spend a whole day or a whole week working flat out doing something that brings great value and great results to them. However, once they've done that, they then spend another week or 2 weeks doing absolutely nothing. There's someone I work with, in fact, who's absolutely brilliant at his job, and he can smash out a day of work and, work 12-hour days, but as soon as it hits the weekend, he barely leaves his bed and he just sits in bed eating crisps and ice cream and watching Netflix. And fair play to him, that's what he does to recharge his batteries. But it shows that you can really be this feast or famine type person that really wants to hammer things out in a very short and focused period of time, but then outside of that you're just not motivated to do anything at all. And if you're able to get what you need done in that short period of time, then great. And then on the other hand, there are people that do things more like little and often. They might spend an hour a day working on things, and they know they have that hard hour to just work on improving their stream or other areas of their life. And they know that it's the consistency of doing that over and over again every day, improving by 1%, that will lead to exponential growth over a longer period of time. And both, to me at least, both methods work, and they just work in different ways. And it really depends on, I guess, how you get your energy and how you spend that energy you gain on your off days as well, or your off periods. But then there was something else that struck me, and it was this co-worker who has this feast and famine type mentality. He went through a huge, I guess you could say, feast mode for a bit, and then he went into a very long, very large famine mode for a very long period of time, to the point where, especially now in the coronavirus time and working from home, he's still very much in that famine mode, and he's asking like us at work, like, what are we doing to stay motivated? And as I mentioned at the start of this video, a lot of the time I'm spending my free time watching YouTube videos and other forms of content. And while that isn't a productive use of time in the moment, it does help me to recharge my batteries and make sure that when I do start with more productive tasks, I have my batteries charged and I have that additional motivation to work on this productive thing. And in many cases, it can even lead to new ideas. So what I would say is that whether you work little and often or feast and famine, it's also worth occasionally allowing yourself to get distracted and to live in the moment and go with the flow with wherever your mind takes you. Allow yourself that time, even if it's for a short while, just to recharge your batteries in a very quick period of time, I guess. And that's what I'd almost say justifies my decision to, instead of stream something productive last Saturday and instead to play marbles, that just gives me that extra motivation to now, when the time is right to stream the wheel of streaming, I have that more motivation to get it right first time, next time, so maybe get it right second time. And this is a common thread I see in other areas of life. So for example, weight loss, there's a common phrase that people will share with those trying to go through a process of weight loss or improving their physical fitness, and that's a day of good eating is not going to offset the 6 days of bad eating, or a day of exercise is not going to offset the 6 days of no exercise. But likewise, one bad day, one cheat day, one day of not doing any exercise is not going to outweigh the good that you're doing on the 6 other days a week. So, and I think with that, the same can apply to motivation as well. It's okay to allow yourselves that pocket of time to do something where you can just binge out on absolutely nothing of value whatsoever, so long as that everything else you're doing around that is still something that leads you towards your ultimate goals, whether that is in streaming or other areas of your life. So really, like, the goal is to make sure you're doing these distractive things in moderation and not every time you set out to do meaningful work, which is what I'm finding with myself at the moment. Every time I try to do something productive or something that pushes the needle forward in certain areas, I end up just going into YouTube mode every time and then not accomplishing anything at all. So that's something that I really need to fix, but I also need to acknowledge that I still need to allow for those distractions and the room for my mind to breathe, which is often the catalyst for very new and exciting ideas. And after doing that marble stream on Saturday, that's why I'm now seriously becoming a marble streamer off the back of that, because I really enjoyed doing the commentary and really adding hype to the races that were happening, and the feedback I was getting from the viewers at the time as well was very positive as well. So it's like, if that resonated with the viewers very well and I was able to get some new viewers and new followers off the back of that, then that's totally an idea that I should run with if I can. And that came as a result of a distraction, so it can lead to new ideas, and you just need to keep your mind open to the opportunities that exist as you get distracted. So almost in your own distraction mindset, keeping an eye out and still keeping focused on what things you can do with that distraction and apply it to your own content, I guess. And the best bit is, I can always go back to that wheel of streaming when I and others are more up for it. All I need to do is make sure that, for me perhaps, that there's a larger audience that's there to benefit from it, because I feel like those streams are better when there's more people to share the knowledge with and share the experience, and then there's more of us to bounce more ideas off each other. But also allowing myself that if there's like a few viewers less than I'd like, that maybe I can do something else in the meantime, or talk about less serious topics that are related to my stream growth and stream life balance topic in different ways, and maybe in smaller, less important subjects perhaps. So to round off this point that I'm trying to make, I'd say it's okay to have the odd day where you choose to do something fun over doing something productive. We all need to have days like that. But when it comes to being productive on a consistent and regular basis, choosing the fun option every single time is obviously not going to get you anywhere. So I'd say you almost have to treat it like you would a stream schedule. You create a schedule for your streaming so your viewers know you'll be there at a specific time every week. And I don't think it's enough to just create a schedule for streaming. You need to create a schedule for improving your stream as well. And I think this is where last week's video about calendar management comes into it as well. We need to make sure we're factoring in time, not just for streaming and YouTube and the time around that for setup and kind of like wind down and calm down. We need to make sure we're factoring time either on the same day or another day, depending on your schedule and your availability, or still improving that stream and making sure you're thinking about things like your visual assets or how you're improving your skill and your rapport building with your audience, as an example. And of course, you can still find ways to make this really productive and value add work really fun, but just make sure you're doing it in a way that still keeps you moving forward as a streamer, where you can still see consistent growth on a regular basis, and that when you compare your streams from last month to this month, that you can see tangible improvements to the quality of what you're producing. So with that, that's kind of this video done. I'm not really sure how long the length of this video is going to be. I've just seen my hair in Streamlabs. Jeez, coronavirus hair is really getting to me now. Yeah, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but if you have any advice or tips that you want to share with the community and share with me in particular, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below what motivation, like productivity tips that you have. I'd love to hear them and discuss those with you, because at the moment I do find it difficult to be motivated, and a lot of people do say that once you become affiliate you do see that motivation drop down temporarily. Maybe that's what it is. I'm in a bit of a post-affiliate funk, but I'd like to think that's not the case, and that again, with this YouTube schedule that I'm keeping up to and doing videos every week, along with at least staying consistent with my Twitch schedule as well, that will see natural improvements to how things go for me online, just by virtue of more experience, more practice. But then, like I said before, it's also those additional time slots that you set yourself to improve other areas of your stream that are also going to be the catalysts for growth as well. So I need to bear that in mind. And if you are interested in the wheel of streaming, then do let me know, because I can probably produce one video about that, but I'd also like to do the stream workshop as well. So do let me know if that's something that interests you. And yeah, everything else, links to my Twitch, streaming every Wednesday and Saturday, that's in the description below. Links to social media, that's also in the description below. And like I said before, I post videos on here every Friday as well, so stay tuned for those. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it as well. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.